Welcome back to another fabulous nightly news podcast. This is Club President Sherri Long, and today we are turning the podcast tables on our co-advisor, Professor Paul Miller. So welcome to the podcast, Professor Miller.
Well, thank you. I've had the opportunity to have to be the guest before. I certainly appreciate you taking the time out and wanting to do this, and I'm happy to be here.
Oh, great. I wanted to have you on this podcast to celebrate and talk about an award that you received here at Central Penn. The award is called the Central Penn College's Faculty Member of the Quarter, and you received this in the beginning of April. The award is given to recognize positive attitude toward work responsibilities, coworkers, students, and your willingness to take initiative for the good of the campus community. So first of all, congratulations to you.
Thank you, and I was just pleasantly surprised that this was the case. Apparently, when I was delivered the award, I found out that a lot of my colleagues had made a strong case for me, and it really means a lot to be valued by the people you work with. I mean, of course, we want to please our boss and our supervisors as best we can, but to know that your colleagues think so highly of you really means the world to me as well.
And I just wanted to share part of an excerpt of one of the nominations. It says, Paul works tirelessly to help and aid students, advise the Nightly News Media Club, and build up the reputation and resources of the college. He bleeds Central Penn maroon and orange. I can think of no one more deserving of this award. And that's from one of your peers, so that's pretty powerful to say, being recognized for how much hard work you put into everything you do here at Central Penn.
The interesting thing about that was, and I can't, again, I'm honored, but to know that your work is acknowledged really means a lot to people. To be honest with you, these are the types of things that inspire people in your organization to want to do better. I mean, we all want to be happy in our jobs, and we all want to feel valued, and I've never felt so valued by any company I've ever worked for as I do Central Penn College, and it's really made my decision to, begin my career here, and I hope to finish my career here because of the environment, the culture that we have here, and frankly, getting to work with a lot of really excellent people who are just as deserving of this award as I am.
And for what I hear, you didn't know you were nominated. You were surprised.
I honestly, when I've heard people get these awards before, they were all deserving. And it's difficult to put in perspective what I do with what they do, because to be honest, we only walk in our own shoes. And while we may seem like we're very, very busy and we're trying to get from one aspect of our daily checklist to another, it really made me happy to know that my work is valued, some of the things that we do with the media club, how far we've come. But I also want to make sure that I give credit where it's due. I'll give you an example. Sherri, you worked tirelessly on our first, do we want to call it a newsletter? Is that what we're calling it?
I'm calling it our sample publication.
I like that. Yeah. So our first sample publication we just released this week, and I've gotten such amazing feedback. And I've had so many people come to me and say, this is just so wonderful. You guys have done such a wonderful job. And I always make sure to acknowledge you and to acknowledge Mike and our other dedicated media club members, because to be honest, without you guys, we wouldn't have a media club. I mean, I could walk around and act like I run some club, but to be honest, you guys are the backbone in the day-to-day operations, and I'm just trying to help coordinate everything, as is Professor Lear-Limpy. So I always try to make sure that I acknowledge where people have helped me, because I couldn't have done this myself. In fact, some of my colleagues, we get a parking spot out front. I've shared this. We have enough colleagues that in our department, I've basically given every single one of them a week. I took the first week, and I'm sharing it with them because I really want them to understand that, yes, I won this award, but to be honest, if it wasn't for the culture that we have in the Humanities and Sciences department, I would have never won. So they've certainly helped me get to this point.
Well, as a student at Central Penn, it's teamwork. I mean, from all the professors, it's teamwork. It's, well, if I don't know something, I know someone who can help, or it's not anyone like, look at my award and won. It was, I got this award, thank you for the acknowledgement, but it's all a team effort, and you couldn't get there without everyone else.
You know, I talk about this a lot, and I'm just going to talk about something that I see in my classes a lot. I really try to do group projects as much as I can, especially in our on-ground and evening classes. Online, it's a little tougher, and I acknowledge that. I actually just had a conversation with my chair today about one of the things I really wanted to do is try some things in group work in online classes. But I always get negative feedback from students. You know, I don't like working in groups. You know, I'm always the one that takes the lead on things. There's always people that kind of shirk their duties. And my response to that is, look at how many teams that you're going to have to work in no matter where you go. Right now alone, I can count 10 at least, if not more, different teams I'm on, different committees I'm on, different organizations I work with within the school. I work very closely with Career Services and the Education Foundation. And, you know, I'm on the Curriculum Review Committee and those kinds of things. Teamwork is essential, not just at a college environment, but anywhere. Anywhere you go, you're going to have some kind of teams that you're working with. And the ability to work in teams, that's part of the reason why you join a club. Because these organizations want to see how you can work in teams. And if you're a member of a club for a long period of time, they can at least see, hey, this person's been with this team for quite some time. They obviously get along if they've been in the club for that long. Those are the types of things that you can really use from your college experience to put on a resume. And they're things that in 2017 and beyond are just so important, the ability to work in teams.
I think for me, I'm on different teams with the Alumni Council and some other places I volunteer, and it's great to be involved with people that want to contribute. It's exciting and fun, and you get to brainstorm ideas. That's my thing. I like to do creative things like that, and just being able to get different perspectives from every walk of life is important for the teams.
And I think, no matter what team you're on, there's always going to be leaders and there's always going to be followers. And our goal is to be the leader there. Leaders are the types of people who are going to have easier times finding jobs, easier times advancing in their position. But to be honest with you, it's one thing that if you go into a company and you don't work well in teams, the odds of you staying there for a long period of time really diminish. And I hate to say that, but trust me, I'm sure we would all like to just go into work and be alone and not have to deal with other people, but that's just not how things go in this day and age, and especially with the idea of the internet and how the internet has created sort of virtual teams where you're supposed to work with somebody online that may not even be in the same city or state or even country as you.
Yeah, it's with the virtual, being able to see people or hear people is better than just reading a text. You get to see hear their animation and their voice, their facial expressions, and I think that's great too. I just wanted to, as a student of yours for online class, I've benefited from some of the work that you put into that by having presentations that screencasts, I think they're called, and you kind of giving the seminar online, and that's beneficial for me with the examples. And I know it takes a lot of effort, so I just say thank you, because it's helpful for me just from reading a book. It's like a lot of words and a lot of text. It's nice to get some kind of voice and some real life examples to tie into that.
Not every book that we use is going to be very approachable, certainly as you advance in your coursework. And so one of the things I always try to do is, while I'm not going to sit and go page by page through the book, and I do that to a certain extent, I really just want you to pull the main ideas out of each chapter, and I want to also try to give you some real-world examples. The Center for Teaching Excellence is another group that I've worked very closely with, and I plan on, over the next couple of years, honing my online skills even further. To be honest with you, I think I'm only just scratching the surface of what I can do, but I've gotten some really positive feedback from doing things like that, and I really appreciate the feedback that I do get from my students. Online classes are very difficult for some people, so I try to understand that everyone's got different needs, and I try to appeal to different types of learning styles that I can in an online space.
Well, I think you're doing a great job, so thank you.
Well, I appreciate that very much.
And I want to congratulate you again for receiving your award here, and it's nice to have you recognized for all the hard work that you've done on campus and the Nightly News Media Club and all the other things you're involved in.
Those are the two big things. My teaching in the classroom and online and the media club really take a lot of my day, but they're also the most rewarding. To read excellent SOS surveys, student observation surveys after the term's over, and to get really positive feedback, it really makes my job worth doing. To be able to do this podcast as part of my job is a dream that I've had for years. And I just hope that I can inspire and sort of transfer some of the passion I have for broadcasting to my students and to others here on the Central Penn College campus. With all that said, though, Sherri, I understand that you won an award at the Women's Leadership Conference. You won the Double Agent Award. And the award was to someone who was extremely involved both on campus with their duties as far as class, and certainly you're a leader of our club, but also off campus in your nonprofit work. What was your thoughts when you won this, and did you know that you were nominated?
I knew I was nominated a couple days before the conference. I have no idea who nominated me, and I don't really want to know. It's kind of interesting to figure out, well, who recognized me. It was a surprise. That it's nice, as you said, that someone noticed, even though I do it.
It wasn't just one person. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, good. Well, thank you all. For me, it's not that I'm looking for recognition. It's just because I do it for the positive feedback that I receive myself. It's rewarding to be involved, and I've always wanted to do well. And just to have someone notice that and take their time out of their busy day to nominate me, that was really cool.
You certainly make a very positive impact on any professor that you have in class. You also really do embrace leadership. A lot of certainly, freshmen, even sometimes into sophomores, sort of try to take the back seat. And I just appreciate, since the first day you've ever walked on campus, and I believe I actually had you for your very first class, you certainly made an unbelievably positive impact on me, on your fellow students in your classes, your fellow club members, and even joining things like Alumni Council. Sherri, you're just really, really doing a fantastic job here. So even though I know this was about the award that I won, I wanted to recognize you in the award, the Double Agent Award that you won at the recent Women's Leadership Conference.
Well, thank you very much. Well, thank you to Professor Miller for being on the podcast today to talk about his Faculty Member of the Quarter Award. And again, congratulations. And thank you for being on the show today.
Anytime.
And for Nightly News Media Club, this is Club President Sherri Long, thanking you for listening, and have a great day.